Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again, bringing you another unboxing and review of an old school Zelos watch that is mine. As everyone knows by now, and if you don't, where have you been? I am a big fan of Zelos. I think in total I've probably owned nearly 70 or so Zelos watches. I sold quite a few of them. I own quite a few still. And I love all Zelos, whether it's one of the new ones like the Swordfish or the Starfighter, or the newer models like the Comet, which I hope to review very shortly. I love the way they look. I do have one inbound. That's my father's, but he'll let me play with it. And I do love the old school Zelos watches, the Chromas, the Venture, the Avant, the Helmsman, the first and second generation Abyss, the original Hammerheads. These are a foundation that built Zelos. And another one of those watches, which is forgotten by most people, but not by me, was the Cosmos. It was a very, very interesting design. I believe it dates from 2016, 17, somewhere in there. A very, very interesting design, very unique design among the Zelos watches, and a very interesting construction method as well. And that construction method, truth be told, led to the downfall of that watch. It became a bit problematic. And that's why it took me so long to get a hold of this watch. I bought this watch from a seller who wishes to remain anonymous, as they mostly do. And it had problems. And they had to be corrected by Zelos themselves. And that's why the watch is in a modern Zelos watch box, because it didn't have its original watch box. And I asked when the watch was repaired if I could get them to at least give me some kind of watch box to contain it in, and if I ever decide to sell it, something I could sell it with. So inside this very modern, up-to-date, as of mid-2022 Zelos watch box is a very old school Zelos watch. They even gave me a warranty card to go with it. Inside is one of the Chroma watches. This one happens to be the PVD blue version of the Chroma. And it looks very much like the Cosmos. I'm sorry, I have Chroma on the mind, because the watch is a similar design to the Chroma, with the lugless design. And instead of the crown being at 3 o'clock, it's at 4 o'clock. It's a little bit more accessible. And the watch is all dial. There's no lugs, as you can see. You can still get to the spring bars easy enough, because I actually removed one of the two keepers, as you can see, because I didn't need it. It was very easy to get to it. But the watch is a multi-layer design. You have 4 layers in total on the watch dial, and 2 of those layers pardon me, are sapphire layers. The other 2 are metal. And that's where the problem came in. You can see these 4 screws right here at the 2, 4, well, 230, 430, 730, 1030 position. They hold down one of the sapphire layers, and in the original iteration of this watch, they had some problems cracking. That's why this watch went back to Zelos for revision. And it looks great. I mean, this is really, to me, this is a great looking watch. Full fairness and disclosure, it's a little hard to read. You can see, I know you can see somewhere in this area, I think right there, actually, is a little triangle. It's a little blue triangle. That's your hour hand. And you can see this track right here, the spokes of the wheel, and you can see one of them is blue. That's your minute hand. So right now, as we look at it, it's about, 12:44, which is correct. And, of course, you have the outer, this outer track here with the hours in it. And it really looks, it's got kind of a cosmic look to it, hence the name Cosmos. And the shape of it kind of looks flying saucer-ish. And I love the design of the bezel is the bezel is the crystal. The crystal is the bezel. Now there's an inner bezel under there, of course, but the crystal is out there so much, and you can see the profile. It's a flat crystal, sapphire, of course, but the crystal makes up the bezel. That's really an interesting design. Of course, that makes it maybe a little more vulnerable to, say, a side hit could crack it, but sapphire crystals are pretty tough. I'm not terribly worried about it. But for me, this was a great pickup. And you can see there's a little damage to the bottom. I mean, this is, after all, not a new watch. This is a used watch. There was a little, I don't know what that is. Might be some goo or something. Maybe I could throw some Goo Gone at it and probably take it off. Actually, it's coming off, isn't it? Maybe it's not damaged. Maybe it's just adhesive. How about that? Maybe if I took the time to play around with these things before I shot videos of them. Maybe a little Goo Gone rubbed on there, and it'll go away completely. But really, to me, a fantastic watch. I love the shape of the case, the kind of the little striations there. The case back is screwed down, but it is an automatic movement, so it's not a quartz. There's no need for batteries here. Got a signed full leather strap. It's an old school, genuine leather strap with an alligator pattern on it. It was very stiff when I first got it. I opted to get a brand new strap with it when I sent it back to be worked on, and I'm glad I did. That big, oversized, old school stainless steel Zelos buckle. It's kind of too bad it wasn't black to match the case, but I'm not going to quibble with that. And if I really want a black buckle, I mean, I'm sure I can either find a Zelos one in my stash, or I can just go buy one off of eBay, a generic black buckle, and stick it on there. But it works for now, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Let me give you a wrist shot of this beast. I mean, this thing is a beast of a watch. Not quite as big as, say, an Abyss or an original Hammerhead, but definitely a big watch. But because it's a lugless design, as you can see, it doesn't wear big. It just wears tall. But across my 7¼ inch wrist, plenty of room. And because of its lack of lugs, and it's actually lug to lug, I'll get to that in a minute, but the lug to lug design of this thing, I think somebody with as low a wrist as, say, 6¼ maybe a 6-inch wrist could probably wear this thing, although it's so tall it might look a little funny. But in terms of width, someone with a small wrist could still wear this watch very easily. But really a nice, a very unique looking design. And I do have my sheet of facts here, so I can go over the critical information with. Now, this is the Zelos Cosmos. This one happens to be the PVD blue. These are discontinued models. They're out there in the world. I think there's about 100 of each colorway. I believe there were 4 different colorways. There's about 100 each. I'm not sure what number this is. It may have been on the back. I just can't see it. I don't know. But I was told by Elshin there's about 100 of these things. So this is the PVD blue. It is a sapphire and metal dial. As I said, there are 4 different layers on this thing. 2 of them are sapphire, 2 of them are metal. The outer hands, hour marker, and the inner hands minute track are sapphire. The rest is metal. You have sapphire crystals front and rear. So a lot of sapphire in this watch. The case is 316L stainless, no lug design. Not very easy to see, but back in there is an automatic movement. You can barely see the rotor. It's not really moving around much, but I think I just made it move so you can probably see it. It is an ETA movement. Now, on the website, when you pull up this watch, it says Miyota, but it also says ETA on the page. I checked with Elshin, and he said that is an ETA movement. So Elshin said it's an ETA, so I'm going with that. Now, if somebody wants to quibble about it, feel free to do so in the comments, but your argument is with Elshin, not with me. It is an ETA 2824. It is a 45 millimeter diameter watch, so it's a big fella. But it's only 44 millimeter on the tip to tip. I measured from there to there. It is a 20 millimeter lug width. I know it's a little oversized right there, but from the part where the spring bar is 20 millimeter. And it is 14 millimeters thick. Now, I measured all these myself, except for the diameter of the case. That's on the website. The other measurements I did with my calipers. So, there you go. Now, there was no water resistance rating given. This is not a screw down crown, as you can see. Now, a 2824 is a hand wind and a hack movement. There's no second hand on here for me to... Actually, there is. It's right there in the middle. Sorry. There's no second hand. It's a second rotor. And as you can see, it does hack the movement when you pull the crown out. I'm not sure. I'm looking at, I think that notch right there and one above one of the spokes. No, they all have the notch. So, quite honestly, I don't know where the top of that rotor is. So, like I said, probably should have done a little more research. But that center rotor is your second hand. And as you can see, it does hack that second hand when you pull the crown out. Now, as I said, the crown is not a screw-down crown. So, I don't have an official water resistance measurement. I would probably hazard a guess 50 meters. But even at 50 meters, this is not a watch you want to submerge in water. Maybe get it wet in a rainstorm or washing your hands or something like that. But not what I would define as a swimmable watch. But if you want to swim with it, hey, that's on you. Now you can see that blue 1 o'clock. You can see that blue hour hand right there at the 1 o'clock a little clearer now. So you can see the minute hand, hour hand, and the second hand, quote unquote, in the middle. Really a crazy looking design. I'm happy to have gotten a hold of one of these. I love blue. You know, blue is my favorite color. So I was really happy to grab a hold of one of these, even though it needed a little work. I am very grateful that I was able to procure one, and I got it refurbed a bit and now it's a great watch for me to wear all the time. So really happy to have yet another old school Zelos watch in my collection. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know it with me. And if you did, you found the video to be interesting, entertaining, and knowledge building, please click that thumbs up button for me. That does help with the YouTube search algorithm, so I do appreciate it. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to leave troll comments or you're going to leave bad links to bad places on the interwebs, I will simply delete the comment and block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the place. Feel free to watch as many videos as you like. All I ask is that before you leave, please click on that subscribe button for me. And when you do, click on the bell icon so that when I upload new videos or when I do live streams, you are alerted to these events and you can respond appropriately. Meanwhile, as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. And it is not getting any better from what I can tell. So please, I ask you, be careful out there, stay safe, be well, see you soon.